Good morning class! Welcome to the video lesson. Our topic for today is linear inequalities in two variables, Mathematics 8. So before we are going to start, I am going to introduce myself. I am Miss Yagahon and I will be your Mathematics 8 teacher. So let's start. Objectives. At the end of the lesson, the students are expected to illustrate linear inequalities from linear equation in two variables using a variety of examples, graph linear inequalities in two variables, and appreciate the importance of linear inequalities in two variables by formulating real-life situation. What is a linear inequality? Linear inequality in two variables is a mathematical statement that makes use of an equality symbol such as greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, and less than or equal to. For example, we have the linear inequality 2x plus 3y greater than 8 and 4x plus 5y less than 2. Another example, 7x plus 11y greater than or equal to 25 and 6x plus 9y less than or equal to 10. Thus, linear inequality can be written in one of the following forms: ax plus by greater than c, ax plus by less than c, ax plus by greater than or equal to c, and ax plus by less than or equal to c. Did you know, class, that there are certain situations in real life can be modeled by linear inequalities? For example, the total amount of 1 peso coins and 5 peso coins in the bag is more than 150 pesos. So to translate this into a mathematical statement, let x be the number of 1 peso and let y be the number of 5 peso. So we will have now the linear inequality x plus 5y greater than 150. On the other hand, linear equation in two variables is a mathematical statement indicating that two expressions are equal and using the symbol equal. For example, we have the linear equation 4x plus 5y equals 12 and 3x plus 4y equals 15. And also, linear equation have certain situation in real life can be modeled by linear equations. For example, Brian buy 3 hot dogs and 2 eggs in the store for his breakfast and pay a total amount of 51 pesos. So to translate this into a mathematical statement, let x be the number of hot dog and let y be the number of egg. And because hot dog is equivalent to 3 and eggs is equivalent to 2, then we will have the linear equation 3x plus 2y equals 51. That's it for linear equation and linear inequalities in two variables. So the next topic would be graphing linear inequality. When a line is graphed in the coordinate plane, it separates the plane into two regions called half plane. The line that separates the plane is called the plane divider. So I am going to show you an illustration of a coordinate plane. And as you can see, there is a black solid line right there that is called the plane divider. And if we are going to separate the plane into two regions, this region is called the half plane and the other side is also called as half plane. The shaded region consists of the point whose coordinates satisfy the inequality. So this shaded region right here, all the points right here satisfy the inequality, or all the points right here are part of the solution set of the linear inequality. On the other hand, the non-shaded region, all the points right here does not satisfy the inequality, or all the points are not part of the solution set of the linear inequality. How to graph linear inequality? So here are the steps to follow. First, replace the inequality symbol with an equal sign or make it a linear equation and solve for the intercepts. The resulting equation becomes the plane divider. So this is our first step and I am going to show you an example on how we are going to do it. So for example, we have the linear inequality 9x plus 5y greater than 45, and the first thing that we need to do is to change this to a linear equation, and to change it we are just going to replace the greater than symbol to an equal sign symbol. So we have now the linear equation 9x plus 5y equals 45, and to graph this linear equation we need to solve first for the x-intercept and y-intercept. So we are going to solve first for the x-intercept. Let y be equal to 0 and substitute this 0 to the y variable. 9x plus 2 times 0, because y is equal to 0, equals 45. 9x plus 0, because 2 times 0 is equal to 0, equals 45. 9x plus 0 is equal only to 9x. And then we need to divide both sides by 9. So 9x divided by 9 is equal to x, and 45 divided by 9 is equal to 5. So we have now already our x-intercept, which is 5 and 0. And for the y-intercept, let x be equal to 0. And also, we just need to substitute this 0 to the x variable, which is 9 times 0, because x is equal to 0, plus 5y equals 45. 9 times 0 is equal to 0, plus 5y is equal to 5y only. And we need to divide both sides by 5. So 5y divided by 5 is equal to y. 45 divided by 5 is equal to 9. So we have now our y-intercept, which is 0 and 9. So we already solved our x-intercept and y-intercept. We need to move on to the next step, which is graph the resulting equation with a solid line if the original inequality contains greater than or equal to or less than or equal to symbol. So if the original inequality contains or use this kind of symbol, we are going to use the solid line. Thus, the solid line indicates that all the points on the line are part of the solution of the inequality. And if the inequality contains less than or greater than symbol, use a dash or broken line. So if the inequality uses this kind of symbol, we are going to use a dash or broken line. Thus, the dash or broken line indicates that the coordinates of all points on the line are not part of the solution set of the inequality. So we are now going to graph the equation, and because we are going to graph the equation, we need to make use of the coordinate plane and also the x-intercept and y-intercept. So for the x-intercept, we have 5 and 0, so we are going to plot a point in the x-axis, which is in the 5. And for the y-intercept, we have 9 and 0, so we are going to plot a point in the y-axis, which is in the 9. And after plotting the point, we are now going to decide if we are going to use solid or dash or broken line. And because our original inequality uses this kind of symbol, which is greater than, then we are going to use the dash or broken line. Thus, this dash or broken line indicates that all the points of the coordinates on this line are not part of the solution set, or all the points in this line does not satisfy the inequality 9x plus 5y greater than 45. So that's it for the second step. So we are going to move on to the third step, which is decide which half plane contains the solution set. Pick a test point that is on the side of the boundary line. Use 0, 0 if possible. Replace x and y in the inequality with the coordinates of that point. So in the third step, before we can decide which half plane contains the solution set, we need to pick a test point first, which is the 0, 0. And if the resulting inequality is true, shade the side that contains the test point. And if the resulting inequality is false, shade the other side of the boundary. So in order to do that, we need to use first the original inequality, which is 9x plus 5y greater than 45. And to decide which half plane we are going to shade, we need to make use first for the test point, which is the 0, 0 or the origin. So to do that, we're just going to substitute this to the variable x and y. So we will have now 9 times 0 because x is equal to 0 plus 5 times 0 because y is equal to 0 greater than 45. 9 times 0 is equal to 0 plus 5 times 0 is equal to 0 also greater than 45. And if we are going to add it up, 0 plus 0 is equal to 0. 0 greater than 45 is a false statement, and because it is false, then we are not going to shade the side which contains the test point or the 0, 0. And because 0, 0 is right here, which is our origin, then we are not going to shade this side. We are going to shade the other side of the half plane, which is right there. So because we shade the side of the half plane, then this indicates that all points of the coordinates are part of the solution set, or all points in the coordinates right here satisfy the inequality 9x plus 5y greater than 45. So that is how we are going to graph the linear inequality 9x plus 5y greater than 45. So right now, I am going to give you another example, but a word problem. A food company charges 4 pesos per kilometer in daytime and 5 pesos per kilometer in nighttime. How many kilometers in day and nighttime will have to go in order to be charged at least 100 pesos? Write and graph the inequality. So before we can graph this, we need to translate it into a inequality, and to translate it, we need to find first the variable x and y. So for the x variable, we have let x be the daytime kilometer, and because the charge for the daytime kilometer is 4 pesos, then we will have 4x. And for the y variable, let y be the nighttime kilometer, and because the charge for the nighttime kilometer is 5 pesos, then we will have 5y. How many kilometers in day and night time will have to go in order to be charged at least 100 pesos? So in this statement, we are just going to add the x and y variable. We will have 4x plus 5y. And as we all know that the word at least, or the other term for at least, is greater than or equal to, then we will have 4x plus 5y greater than or equal to 100. And as you remember, the first step that we need to do in order to graph this inequality, we need to change this to a linear equation. And to change it, we just need to replace the greater than or equal to sign symbol to an equal sign. So we will have now our linear equation for x plus 5y equals 100. And for the next step, we are going to use for the coordinate plane, and to use it, we need to solve first for the x-intercept and y-intercept. So we are going to solve first for the x-intercept. Let y be equal to 0. Again, we are just going to substitute the 0 to the y variable. So we will have 4x plus 5y, y is equal to 0, so equals 100. And 5 times 0 is equal to 0, so we will have now 4x, and after that divide both sides by 4. So 4x divided by 4 is equal to x only, and 100 divided by 4 is equal to 25. Thus our x-intercept is equal to 25. And for the y-intercept, let x be equal to 0. Again, let's substitute the 0 to the x variable. So 4 times 0, because x is equal to 0, plus 5y equals 100. 4 times 0 is equal to 0, plus 5y equals 5y only. So we will divide both sides by 5. 5y divided by 5 is equal to y. 100 divided by 5 is equal to 20. So our y-intercept is equal to 20. So before we can plot this point, we need to label first our x-axis and y-axis. For the y-axis, it will be the nighttime kilometer, and for the x-axis, it will be the daytime kilometer. So we can now plot the point. For the x-intercept, it is the 25. So we'll plot the point right in the 25, and for the y-intercept, it is equal to 20. So we will put the point right in the y-axis, which is in the 20. And because our original inequality contains this kind of symbol, which is the greater than or equal to, then we will make use of the solid line. Thus, this solid line indicates that all the points in the coordinates on this line satisfy the inequality, or all the points in the coordinates of this line are part of the solution set. So for the third step, we need to make use of the original inequality, which is 4x plus 5y greater than or equal to 100. And after that, we need to pick a test point, which is the 0, 0, or the origin. We are just going to substitute this test point or these coordinates to the variable x and y. So we will have now 4 times 0 because x is equal to 0, plus 5 times 0 because y is also equal to 0 greater than or equal to 100. 4 times 0 is equal to 0, plus 5 times 0 is also equal to 0, and if we are going to add it up, 0 plus 0 is equal to 0. 0 greater than or equal to 100 is a full statement, and it is because it is a full statement, then we are not going to shade the side which contains our test point or the 0, 0. And the 0, 0 is located right here, so we are not going to shade this side. We are going to shade the other side of the boundary, which is right here. Thus, this shaded region consists of the points whose coordinates satisfy the inequality, or in short, all the points right here are part of the solution set of the linear inequality 4x plus 5y greater than or equal to 100. And to show you or to prove you that it is correct, then I will give you an example using one of the coordinates in this shaded region, and I chose the 25 and 15. For the daytime kilometer, it will be the 25, and for the nighttime kilometer, it will be the 15. We are just going to substitute these coordinates to the variable x and y. So we will have now 4 times 25 because x is equal to 25, and y 5 times 15 because y is equal to 15, copy greater than or equal to 100. 4 times 25 is equal to 100, plus 5 times 15 is equal to 75. And if we are going to add it up, 100 plus 75 is equal to 175. 175 greater than or equal to 100 is a true statement, and it is because it is a true statement, then these coordinates 25 and 15 is a solution to the linear inequality 4x plus 5y greater than or equal to 100. Then this indicates that in this shaded region, all the points right here are part of the solution set of the linear inequality 4x plus 5y greater than or equal to 100. That's it for graphing linear inequality, class. I hope you understand the topic. See you on the next video lesson. Thank you and goodbye.